First club match of the VOD from day one. But that's weird that they're in the VOD for day 2. They must have like spliced it together, I guess. All right. Greninja and Cram. And then here comes the Nest Ball. Probably get another Comfy. Definitely want 2 Comfy out here cooking. The Cram grab is a little bit interesting. So it's definitely some build of Lost Box. I can't tell too much more about the deck. I wonder if it's like Tina or not. I didn't grab a Tina initially though. Here come the Comfies. Got rid of the Artisan Town. But you don't want to give that to your opponent. They go for the switch card instead. Here comes Greninja for 2. That's weird. They should have Greninja'd first though. That's actually a weird sequence. Unless they want to retreat the Comfy to get another lost one. I guess maybe it's not that weird. Another Battle VIP pass in hand. Now we're gonna search again. I see Raikou, Comfy, Sableye. There definitely is Dragonite in here as well. Just gets a 3rd Comfy. I would have hated to get Sableye there as well, maybe. I'm just not a big fan of the early Cram grab. Raikou or Boss. Lost owns the Raikou, keeps the Boss. Definitely pull off a 3rd Comfy here, and that's what we're gonna see. Because you want to get down in this matchup, especially with Iono in the format, you want to get down. You want to get down triple Sableye. Thinking about getting rid of the escape rope. Keeps that. I like the escape rope keep here, I think. Yeah, so it looks like it is Guardy, which is what I thought it was going to be here. Yeah, I kind of like. I don't like triple Comfy because you want to keep the option open to put down 2 Sableye at once and like get like Mirage Gate energy to them to keep the chain going. Because if you don't do that, I'm taking a look at the prize cards here. 2 escape rope prize doesn't seem like anything super relevant on either side prize, to be honest. Because if you don't get down double Sableye, then it's hard to like chain knockouts against Guardy here. So I'm not a huge fan of getting triple Comfy there, and like also getting Cram initially as well. I guess getting Cram is probably correct because you know you can't attack with Greninja because they open the Manaphy, so you're not attacking with Greninja. But instead of getting the Comfy there, I wouldn't have hated to see them grab. I'm curious what they're asking the judge there. What is the situation? You noticed he had a decklist error and stopped to let the judges know? Oh, they had a decklist error? Wait, really? Wait, how could they... Didn't realize it all of day 1? That's crazy. Oh, no, wait. Are you allowed... No, you're not allowed to change your deck day 1 to day 2, are you? What is the decklist error? They can change lists for day 2? Oh, they can change lists for day 2? Oh, so that's like a pretty reasonable mess up then, to be honest. At first I was gonna be like, how do you play like how do you go 10-0 and then like not realize you had a decklist error? Oh, that's unfortunate. So they probably forgot to make they probably forgot to make the adjustment that they were going to make. They probably wanted to make a change and then didn't make the change. Interesting. We'll go ahead and skip ahead here, see what happens. I want to be surprised if it is some kind. Well, I don't know. They're like, there could be a prize penalty for it, but they're like being like super honest about it, and it definitely seems like they're a little bit more lenient in Japan. What is the result of that? And did they should have the camera? Did they let him go get the adjustment card? Are they letting him go get the card? I think they're letting him go get the card that should be changed. Interesting. Yeah, they're definitely more lenient in Japan than they are from the rulings that we've seen. Or was it Taiwan? Ends up being a game loss. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Like, a game loss seems reasonable here, to be honest. I'm glad it's not like a DQ or something. Okay, so yeah, game loss. Go into game 2. All right, let's cook. All right, let's get it. I'm curious to see if the Guardy player... I'm assuming the Guardy player chooses to go first. Dragonite, Snorlax, prize. Dragonite's really good in this matchup. So is Snorlax, actually. Dragonite and Snorlax are really, really good against Guardy. Mulligan. Is that... There might be 2 mulligans. I think it is 2 mulligans. There we go. We finally got a basic here. And let's see what's prized on the Guardy side. A rare candy. Oh, no. Do they just lose? Well, if they can get an early Zacian attacking, they have a chance. Double Guardy EX prize? I'm assuming they don't play 3 Guardy EX. Oh, and double Shiny Arcana to the discard pile off the rip. No. Okay, it's not as bad. They do have Super Rod, so they can recover the Shiny Arcana. Oh my gosh. So their only way to an early attack is a Zacian. Like, they have to set up Zacian here. And already they attached Return to Retreat. It seems like they're playing faster and not checking their prize cards as thoroughly as they were. Well, actually, no, we didn't see them search out in game 1 at all, to be honest. I take it back. Now seem to be doing some thorough prize checking. And they'll realize double Guardy is prized, which means they have to take a Zacian here. They don't take the Zacian to start to load it up, though. They probably just didn't check, which I don't think is like completely unreasonable. Like, if you like, yeah, but like, you should definitely play this differently, knowing that if you know that's prized, you should definitely get Zacian here and load it up with an energy. And of course, I'm assuming that they play Zacian, but they might not be playing Zacian, but I'm pretty sure they are. So we got about Battle VIP pass off the rip here for the Lost Box player. They are playing a Sky Sealstone build, it looks like. We haven't seen a 4 Sealstone. Sky Sealstone, Raihan, stuff like that. Thinking about double Comfey. Makes sense to me, but what's the hand? I wonder if they Raikou. Did they Raikou before the Battle VIP pass? I'm actually curious. They had double Mulligan to work with as well. So like turn 1 Cram, turn 1 Greninja. I doubt they play Vacuum though if they're playing like a Sky Sealstone build. So they want to go with they went the Fleet-Footed afterwards. We didn't have any energy in the hand. I think they definitely should have got Greninja here. But I don't know how many energy they have in hand. Raihan or Water. I think the Water's definitely a little bit better here. They have a lot of energy in hand. Why didn't we get Greninja? I definitely would like to have seen Greninja get grabbed here, I think. Ooh, Battle VIP Pass or Water. All right, we're still cooking, though. So just like I said, I don't love third Comfey grab here because you want to be able to set up a ton of attackers in play, whether it be Snorlax, Dragonite, Double Sableye. All right, so they get the Cram. Oh, they're never going to grab triple Comfey here because I always want to get the Greninja Cram. That makes sense. They need to hit the Colress off this Greninja, though, or they actually aren't attacking this turn. But it really doesn't matter because the Guardy player has double Guardy prize. So like turn 2 Guardy is not a possibility. They need to recover their Shiny Arcana Guardies and start to build up into those. They have the Zacian here, so they can actually start to attack with that. But they need to start building some energy on it. There's the Manaphy grab. You need that for sure. Maybe they should have used the Kirlia before going for this Manaphy, actually, because they want to try and get all 3 Kirlias out. They actually want to retreat the active as well, I feel like. Actually, do you want to retreat? See, I don't know if they know that their Guardian is prized yet or not. I'm not sure if they know. So they maybe just want to go ahead and... Yeah, they're not going to bench Zacian here, it looks like. They're not going to evolve the active to Kirlia either. Well, no, here's another level ball. They actually might have enough Kirlias for the whole squad. They can also just get to Shining Arcana and then use a Super Rod and Shining Arcana into the energy into play, but they're like, the longer they don't do energy attachments for turn, the further away they are from pulling that off. I think they're going to go with the attach retreat. Oh, no, wait, they play reversal energy. Never mind. They have more tricks up their sleeve than that, actually. Yeah, that's right. They play reversal energy. Mew first. I think they're digging for a potential candy combo. That's why they went Mew before the Kirlia. But I don't know what you'd candy into play here anyways. And now we should see third Kirlia. Okay, so we're not attacking this turn for the Guardy player. I forgot about reversal energy. So they can definitely get prize cards. They bench that last Ralts. I think they probably should. I don't think holding it does a whole ton for them. Getting in play ahead of time seems better to me. And they did survive that initial potential hit from the Guardy player as well. Oh yeah, also if like an escape rope gets played here, you'd probably push up the Ralts and save the Manaphy, right? So you probably always want to bench the Manaphy here. Greninja for 2. There's a Colress finally. A little bit late. A little bit slow. They'll be a little bit slow on this one because of that, but it won't be the end of the world. If they don't need Cram. The Jet Energy in there is also... I'm unsure if they care about the Jet Energy too much or not. It does seem decent, though. So you probably get rid of Comfey Cram here. Actually, you definitely get rid of Comfey Cram here. I don't know why they're taking so long on this, to be honest. You always get rid of Comfey Cram here. But thinking about getting rid of the boss. But I actually like the boss. I like keeping the boss around. I would get rid of Comfey Cram here like 100% of the time. I really want that second cram though. Maybe the second cram is a little bit more valuable than I think in this matchup. I don't think it's that good though. I think I'd rather have the boss, because the only way you're using cram to attack with again in this matchup is, well, that's not true. If they like load up a shiny Arcana Gardevoir and they damage it, you could cram KO it, I guess, at some point. Maybe cram's a little bit better than I think, but cram plus boss is also really good in this matchup as well. Not sure about that. Then I'd probably take a KO off the bench here as opposed. You want to keep the Mew in play to KO later, so I like to see them play the escape rope here. I definitely would not bench second cram here if I was them. I'd try and bench a Sableye this turn if I could. Ooh, they actually give up the Manaphy? Interesting. They do bench second cram. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the second cram bench. If they had a Sableye, I definitely would have benched that. Maybe benching second cram is better than not benching another attacker there, though, for in case you get Iono. So I don't hate the idea of benching second cram if they didn't have the Sableye option. They've got like, what, 6 in their loss zone now? So they're getting pretty close to being able to pull off the Sableye. You always want to Sableye as soon as possible as well. Okay, so the reversal energy is online now. Yeah, I thought this was going to be like potentially impossible to make a comeback for the Guardy player. But yeah, they do have, I forgot about reversal energy, and they did find one of them pretty early here. And there's the shiny Arcana. Okay, so we're swinging. Here come the Kirlias. A little bit of a missequence there. You should actually start with Kirlias first to draw cards that could thin out your deck, and then go into... Probably that level ball should have been played before using that last Kirlia. I don't know if there's a target in here for it, though. There was, yeah. Oh, yeah, they put the Manaphy back. So, oh, but maybe they want to get the other Kirlia as well, though. So I guess it's correct to, like, hold the level ball for a turn and get the other Kirlia out first. Or get the Kirlia or Manaphy, and then you get the other one. There's an Ultra Ball in hand right now. You could go get another shiny Arcana. Or, oh, they already have it in hand, actually. They're thinking about not playing it, though, for some reason. I think at this point, they probably know they have both their Guard EX prize. But they are drawing prize cards, so it's, like, not terrible. They did whiff it. So now for the... you probably want to hit with Raikou here, to be honest, and just KO this Gardevoir. I don't hate that. Attacking with Sableye here and KO Manaphy is also pretty good, I feel like. They did get the Sableye to the hand. Watching Jet Energy get used there was actually... Jet Energy, that was like a pretty good... it just makes me a fan of Jet Energy, to be honest. that play there that happened with Jet Energy. Now, if you do Sableye to take a knockout here... then you end up in a situation where the reversal energy comes back online. I think maybe you do want to go with Raikou here if you can. But they're not grabbing a lightning energy here. Instead, they're just loading up the Comfeys with energy. There is a lightning prize, and there might be one in the discard pile, so they might not have access to lightning here. They might not be able to, but I think I would do it, to be honest. Appreciate that right there, Josh. I think I would attack with Raikou if you could. Getting that prize card seems pretty good. I don't know. Maybe it's too aggressive, but I like the idea of it. I'm not sure what they lost on there. Comes the Colress. Rid of the Drapion actually isn't bad. The Drapion you should probably actually keep here. So the thing about getting rid of boss, you have to get rid of VIP pass, of course. They get rid of the Drapion. But yeah, Drapion's actually not bad in this matchup because it does one-hit KO Gardevoir EX, which sometimes Dragonite can do, or Dragonite can kind of get close enough. But the guaranteedness of the Drapion is sometimes nice. Yeah, I'm liking the way this one is still lining up here for the Guardy player. I think you probably give up the Mew here off of this escape rope. Because you don't want to like leave it in play. You want to like minimize the effectiveness of the damage from the Lost Box player if they hit with Cram. But I guess they're always sitting here with Sableye. So they got KO on Kirlia. Not going after the Manaphy here is interesting, actually. I feel like there's a lot of potential pressure from Greninja if you go after the Manaphy here. I feel like this would have been a good situation for the Greninja. But they go with the KO on the... What they take out there are Kirlia, which I don't know. I don't know if it's correct here, to be honest, but... Interesting. Reversal Energy is back online, so we will be able to see another KO here. Another Kirlia. Yeah, they definitely know now. If they didn't know before, they should know now for sure that there's no Gardevoir EX in the deck. I think they just asked if they could change their pick there. And it looks like they went with Zacian instead. There is a ton of energy in the deck, so I think that's maybe what they're thinking, is they want to try and load up the Zacian to swing with the Zacian here. Like a clean Zacian, which they might be able to do. There's like most of their deck is energy, so the Shiny Arcanas might just hit. Oh, they're going with the Ono first though. Interesting. Why do they want the Zacian down so bad? Because I feel now there's going to be more cards out in their deck that aren't energy, I feel like. Also, they had second Shiny Arcana in hand and chose to not grab it. Maybe they just want to like set it up, but they don't plan on attacking with it. Maybe they just want to start to build up towards it, which still, I guess, is reasonable. They got the attack with the Gardevoir here. Why is there 4 damage counters on the Gardevoir? Well, I guess you didn't want to spread out the damage too thin for the Cresselia play, I guess. You want to play around Cresselia. Once again, I feel like the Lost Box player should know. Well, I guess you could have assumed that there's a Gardevoir that got taken off the prize cards there. Like, you probably knew that they prize double Gardevoir, but there could be one of them prize. They could have got one of them, so play around that. Yeah, I don't think if the Guardian player can kind of play the one prize game for a while here, back and forth, and not give up a multi-prize turn, which is like which is why I kind of like pressuring the Manaphy on that last turn instead. I kind of like pressuring the Manaphy on the last turn instead because it did like open up more lines of play. This is also why I really like Pokestop. Like, I don't know, I see everyone playing the Artisan Town, but I feel like Pokestop has to be like so ridiculously good in Lost Box now. Because you can Pokestop into Super Rod, like Super Rod Nest Ball, and then that's like, I don't know, it just feels like ridiculously good. I might be tripping, but... Okay, here comes a Mirage Gate. They probably should have... It's actually a misplay. They probably should just Comfeed first. I guess they're taking all 3 cards out of the deck that they put in the deck. I would load up the Raikou here, I think, with an energy. I would probably put an energy on the Raikou here, just to get it ready to go. Yeah, I like that. I wonder what they're going to KO with the Sableye here as well. I'm not sure what they're going to go after. Actually, if they had gone after the Gardevoir on the previous turn, they probably... If they had gone... No, they couldn't have KO'd the Gardevoir, right? Because they didn't have the... No, but they had the... No, they just got the Super Rod left eye energy. Oh, that's kind of rough. That's not great. I mean, you don't really have a choice there. I think they do have a Switch card in hand, though, so they can pull off one more Comfey here. Which you probably want to do. You probably want to play a Colress this turn. They're just going to conserve the pivot in play, though, I guess. Which I don't hate as well. That's kind of close call, I guess, though. There we go. KO Kirlia. They could have KO'd the Gardevoir here, but another prize card was taken. So if you knew that the Gardevoir EXs were prized. And they did get their Dragonite off the prize cards as well. But here's where we should see... I think we should see Cresselia come out here. If I had to guess, I'm going to go ahead and guess Cresselia is going to make an appearance. See if they do something different, though. Actually, the more I think about it, I don't like that damage being stacked on the Gardevoir, though. Like, if you had put on Manaphy, then this turn you could have gone KO Kirlia plus Manaphy or something. I like that, like, a lot more. I don't know. Stacking the damage on the Gardevoir. Like, it allowed Cram to get the KO, but I don't know if that's worth it. Boss KO on the Greninja. I actually like this a lot. The Boss KO on the Greninja, force him to move it while you go with the Cresselia knockout. Because you did just, like, put them to a really low hand size here as the Gardevoir player. You did put them to a really low hand size here as the Gardevoir player. You do probably want to build up the Zacian a little bit because you want to be able to KO the Raikou, but not by having too much damage on it. You could also building up their Gardevoir as well. But the thing is, Gardevoir EX can't KO. So they're going to build up a lot of things here. Yeah, Gardevoir EX can't KO Raikou. There we go. There is still 2 damage lingering on the Mew, though. So a Sableye KO here. Oof, this hand is not good. So a Sableye attack here. We'll be able to KO both. Is there no energy in the deck? Are they not even gonna... You can't just pass here. You just lose if you just pass here, I'm pretty sure. So you can't pass. You can't do that. This is why it's like so important to get like multiple Sableye in play set up with like psychic energy each or something like that. That's why I also think it's possible you want to play like 3 Sableye moving forward. Because I think you want to have board states pretty aggressively with double Sableye in play. There's the Mirage Gate. They have a water and a psychic in there. Attacking with Raikou here does not seem very good. Maybe it's not terrible, though. And I think that is what they're going to go with for. You also get the Fleet-Footed off, so you also get to see a card. And guarantee the knockout on the Cresselia. And I guess currently you do win by going KO Manaphy, KO Mew. So if they don't have a Collapsed Stadium or something like that, then you do just win. But we could see the Cresselia attack again to, like, heal the damage off the Mew. Yeah, you could go Cresselia again, heal the damage off the Mew. There's the Artisan. I don't know what they have in deck that they'd want. But now you also give the Artisan to your opponent, which I don't think they probably want to do if there isn't anything worth grabbing. Sableye is pretty good, though. I guess I don't hate that. And now they get to go KO on the Cresselia. Then you have the win on the Manaphy plus Mew. But Collapse Stadium, I don't think they play Penny anymore, but they probably play Collapse. Maybe they don't, though. I don't know if Guardy plays Collapse anymore, to be honest. Do they play Choice Belt? I guess would be another question. Because if they do play Choice Belt, then they can... But yeah, I think they should try and attack with Cresselia here. And yeah, there's the Artist in town for the Cresselia. So now they attack with Cresselia again. They heal the damage off the Mew and the Manaphy. Yeah, and they should be in a pretty good spot here, actually. I think the Mew player is going to be... Or the Guardy player is going to be winning here. There's no Mew player involved. Guardy player doesn't play Choice Belt or Penny. Okay, good to know. So yeah, now the Cresselia is gonna probably just win them the game here, to be honest. There's Iono, just conserve the energy attachment. So we go Cresselia, KO. What do you KO here? Their bench is full, though. So a boss from the Raikou player would KO the Zacian, though, actually. They got the Collapse, though. Remove the Mew. Now it should be game, I think. Oh, you want to keep the Mew, though, because it has the damage on it. So you got to get rid of the Manaphy. I mean, you could do the Mew. It doesn't matter. You can do one or the other. It doesn't really matter. You're always just attacking with Cresselia here. That's the important part. And then you KO Raikou. Ideally, KO Raikou next turn for the win. And then, probably KO the Comfey with the energy on it, I think, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's, like, the Sableye is not that big of a threat here. There's, like, no way for it to win. Unless they have Hawlucha. They have the boss. Yeah, the boss can't do it. They actually had the boss, though. So if the Collapse Stadium wasn't found there from the Guardy player, then they had boss win the game on the Zacian. That's actually kind of funny. So the Raikou has to move here. But they also need to make sure, like, they're pressuring something and draw. Well, they do have the Psychic. So they could go retreat the water into the Sableye. Psychic to Sableye. There's no guarantee that the Guardy player has the Gust next turn. Super Rod here. They should just grab... I mean, Sableye energy is fine here, I guess. Nest Ball. Just gonna grab another Comfey. I don't even remember what they put in the... They just put triple energy, right? The Comfey. They do have plenty of time for game 3 as well. They had 17 minutes left. That should be enough time. Oh, they have energy and hand still as well. Oh, they could have just... Wait. They can't win this turn. Why are they leaving Raikou when they're active? What was that play? That play was so bizarre. They have to retreat. Wait, can they win this turn and they have like a play I don't see? Am I trolling? I feel like they couldn't win this turn. Maybe they were trying to find... I don't know. They're trying to find Roxanne? I thought the play was going to be just retreat to Sableye, use Sableye to attack. Pass. Or, you know, whatever. But now I don't understand what their win condition is. Okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a... Yeah, I don't know what the Lost Box player was thinking. Because actually, that was like a reasonable play, I think, from them. To go with... Yeah, I think it was a reasonable play from them. It was just like retreat to Sableye attack. Because if they ever have Gust, you lose anyways. You're never winning around Gust. They have never had a win condition around like that turn, I don't think. I don't think they did anyways. Our double Psychic prize is not great for Lost Box. And on the other side, the Mew is prized, but usually you don't want to use Mew aggressively in this matchup anyways. There's not 2 Guardy EX prized, and it's just attached to Cram Pass. No! A terrible start for the Lost Box player. And we got the Battle VIP pass off the rip here for the Guardy player. Some Ralts going to be making their way to the field. And then Zacian. You probably don't want to Iono here. Yeah, you probably don't want Iono here, but you could. Has this ever happened to me before? Yeah, of course. They just load up to the Zacian. I don't know if they had an Iono in hand or not. I'm not sure what the hand here is for the Guardy player, but they just load energy to the Zacian and pass. No energy attachment to the Zacian is not great. There is a Colress here for the Lost Box player. Double Battle. I said made that easy. Made the Colress easy there at the very least. They do have a Nest Ball, so Comfeys are on the way here. Retreat, use a Comfey, hopefully find another Comfey. If they can attack with Cram this turn, they're not in a terrible spot. But it also depends on what the Guardian player has. The Guardian player didn't really do that much. Does have 4 Ralts in play though, which is nice. Of course. They actually only have 12 minutes left. It's possible this game does not finish. We'll see here. Really dead starts? Yeah. Oh, there's the Artisan for second Comfey. Okay, so I think they actually have... they might not have it guaranteed. They have at least 1 switch card in hand. I don't know if they have 2 switch cards in hand, though. Definitely want to keep the Sableye there. There's the Escape Rope. Pushing up Station. I actually think I like pushing Ralts a little bit more than pushing Station here. I don't know, actually, though, to be honest. For the Sky. They're at 4. Do they not have another switch card? Dude, that's so unfortunate. They just had nothing. And pass? Oh my gosh. Man, if you search out for the Artisan, they have at least 1 Kirlia. They have a Level Ball as well and an Ultra Ball. So they're kind of cooking over here on the Guardy side. Leaving the Artisan in play, though. I'm not a big fan of leaving the Artisan town in play, though. I feel like you kind of wanted to maybe bump that. But I don't know if they had other good targets for the Ultra Ball or not. Triple Kirlia Iono. Let's go. Can they find the rare Candy Guardy to attack this turn is the question now. If they don't go off the attack this turn, I mean, it's still pretty... Like, if the Lost Box player had just attacked this turn, they'd be in such a better spot, especially if there's a whiff on the Candy Guardy. Which there's a decent chance that the Candy Guardy is not happening here. Nope, it's happening. Okay. There's an attachment, and then the acceleration. Looking pretty good for our Guardy player here. This is the kind of start you're looking for. It'd be tough comeback. It'd be a tough comeback from here, I think, for the Lost Box player. I'm gonna start with a Cram Punch this turn, but then from there, it's like, you still have a lot going for you. Is Greninja Prize as well? No, Greninja is in there. You appreciate the 28 months there, Baja. Another, yeah, I mean, they at least have the Cram Punch, but that's like all that. They maybe should have benched the Sableye on the last turn, to be honest. Wait, where'd the Sableye come from? It came off the Colress, I think, right? Escape Rope's happening. Do they give up a Pokemon to a Cram, or do they maybe let the Guardy take a hit? Actually, not. I think you do let the Guardy take a hit. They have to work really hard for a 2-hit KO on it. Yeah, I think you do give them the Guardy. That makes them work harder. If you push Guardy here, they always have to work harder. So I like the Guardy send up here, I think, for sure. Here we go again. Nest Ball finds Greninja, but they go for the Super Rod. They can retreat here, I believe. Ooh, they should have Jet Energy to the active, I feel like. I also feel like actually, they had the Jet Energy in hand, didn't they? I feel like they should have they wanted to punch the Zacian, because the Zacian is a easier 2-hit KO. The Guardy's a lot harder of a 2-hit KO than the Zacian, because the Zacian you can clean up with another Cramp or as a Sableye on the following turn. Not a big fan of that play. Now everything's just gonna become Gardevoirs here. Did they use 2 Kirlias in that sequence already? And I'm tripping. I feel like they only used 1 there. Maybe they did use 2 there though. Punch. Yeah, I think they should have used like Jet plus Punch the Zacian instead of the other way around. Yeah. What was my thoughts on SQ to counter Spiritomb in the deck that won? I think it's like okay. I don't know. It does not. I'm not sold on Fusion Mew yet. I'm not sold on Mew being a thing, let alone Fusion Mew. Like, yeah, I'm just not sold on it yet. I have to play it some more myself and actually see if I think it works. It's also possible that what's it called is not popular enough to actually warrant having to play Fusion Mew like Spiritomb. I don't know how many people are actually gonna play Spiritomb, but it's a pretty good easy counter for the matchup. So I think they whiffed Colress again here. No, they have Colress. Trying to decide what to do here. Also in a Lightning, they have the Colress, another Sableye. Attack with Sableye is pretty good here. I definitely would like to see an attack with Sableye happen. Though you do open up a bench space for maybe. It's so hard to not want to KO a Kirlia here. And if he gets pushed up, another Comfey use here. This is going to get him to 10, so they can use Sableye this turn now. Again, it seems like they could have Jet Energy, but chose not to. They also have Nest Ball for Greninja. There's a Mirage Gate for just a water. Okay, I think they... Oh, they didn't realize that they prized double Psychic. Yeah, they didn't realize that they prized double Psychic. They might only play 2 Psychic as well. This is why checking your prize cards is so important. The one thing to always check at Lost Box, though, is your energies. That's like the one thing that's super important. Okay, they did have a Psychic. Okay, they played 3. I'm like, man, are they really that screwed? But they definitely seemed disappointed in the fact that they didn't have energy. This is such an awkward spot here for the Lost Box player, to be honest, because you don't really want to draw prize cards. See, now you're just going to get Cresselia. I don't know. Like, you're just getting Cresselia this turn. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should have kept them board locked. Usually you draw enough early aggressive prize cards in this matchup that board locking them isn't a possibility. I don't know. Maybe you should have board locked here. I just hope that they can't find Collapsed or Penny or whatever. I don't know. Collapse was in the hand, though. It's tough. Because as soon as... Now the Cresselia's online, and now there's 3 Pokemon in play that they're healing. And they're just super far behind. Matchup is so much harder when you're getting like Iono'd every turn. They have Super Rod to aggressively recover. The thing is, like, yeah, like you can like it's just so this matchup is so much harder now, man. You got the Iona to constantly disrupt the Lost Box player, and then you have Super Rod, which allows you to aggressively recover stuff like Cresselia and Manaphy, and then you can disrupt them in the same turn with the Iona. Because like before, you'd have to like commit Miriam as your supporter for turns, so you can't like Roxanne or Judge plus Super Rod. It's too much, man. Guardy's broken. Oh, Tinkaton EX, also broken. Tinkaton EX plus Guardy. That's kind of good. Yeah, man, Guardy is just insane. Guardy's just so good. I don't even know if Lost Box is like worth. Is there anything that's? Why would you play anything that's not Guardy? I guess is like the question, to be honest. I almost like I think there's just like not a reason to. Guardy's insane. Oh, I didn't like Guardy? I've never said I didn't like Guardy. See, everyone just takes everything I say. Like, I said like I don't like Lost Tina in the last format, and everyone's like, oh, wait until Paldea Evolved happens. It's like, well, I never said I didn't like, what's it called in Paldea Evolved format. Always jump into extremes. People in your area are playing Tinglu. Lost Tina good now? It might be the best way to play Lost Zone because just... I don't know if it's worth playing still, though. I still don't think it's worth playing. Like, Guardy's just, like, so insane. Does Guardy easily beat Lugia? It's definitely favored, yeah. I had some firm things to say about Tina, to be fair. Yeah, but that was last format. Like, when a format changes, my opinion can change. Like, literally the format changes. Even within a format, my opinion could change. It doesn't matter. Like, that's still such like a low tier analysis of like opinions, I guess, to be like, well, you said you didn't like Lost Tina last format, therefore if Lost Tina is good in I don't know, what's this format? What is this format? Therefore if Lost Tina is good in Paldea Evolved format, you can't like it. What? Like, how does that make any sense? Yeah, I can't think it's good now. Just because I said it was bad in Scarlet and Violet format. Just such a big bot take. So that was time called. I don't know how turn rules work over in Japan for sure. I think it's whoever went second gets another turn, right? So this should just be the last 2 turns. That means it's a tie, but I don't know if they have ties in Japan. This might just be a double loss here, to be honest. There's one turn. Well, yeah, we'll see if another turn gets played here or not. I'm actually not sure. Wait, but he seemed like excited for that. He seemed like hype. Like, what is that? Is that good or bad? I don't know if that's good or bad there. Maybe the opponent conceded. Maybe that's why I was like, okay, yes. Maybe that's what happened there. Up a game, right? No, they were 1-1 because game 1 was, they had a Deckless error, so they lost game 1, and and then they won game 2. Yeah, time's over, but I don't know what the conclusion is in Japan. Like, is it a? I think they were both doing it on prizes for game 3 not finished. Oh, they're going to run it on prizes. Was it like a player agreement, or is that how it works in Japan? Is that how it works in Japan? If you're up on prize cards, you win, or is that the player agreement? Because he took 4 prize. Oh wait, if you draw 4 prize cards, the game counts. Is that how it works in Japan? Oh, okay, interesting. That's what it used to be in for TPCI events. It was if you drew 4 prize cards, if you drew more than half your prize cards, the game counted. I forget when they changed that, but they changed that a little while ago now. All right, so we get the dub for the Guardy. Yeah, they changed it a little while ago, but that's what it used to be for TPCI events. Was if you draw at least 4 prize cards, the game counted. All right, here we go again. We got another Mew and the Drapion start. They got double battle VIP pass in their hand, so I don't think they're too stressed. I can't actually tell what this deck is here on the left. Here we go. V-Star power happening. What is it? Oh, it's Rapid Strike. Okay. All right. You'll have to see it. The Rapid Strike deck is kind of cool. Does it get better next format? There's probably less Lugia, so that's a pretty big buff for the Rapid Strike deck. I don't know if you're beating Chien Pao, but I don't know how good Chien Pao actually is. I don't think Chien Pao had any results in this tournament specifically. It did have some results in the previous tournament, though, I think. Maybe not, though. Maybe it had some results in the tournament in Taiwan? I don't remember. We don't have, like, the full top 16 results, though, so I don't know how Chien Pao did. Palkia versus Arceus? Well, Arceus sounds terrible in Chien Pao, so I wouldn't do that. Palkia seems like it could be okay, but I haven't tested out any of the formats, so. All right, got a battle VIP pass. Yeah, definitely don't want to play that. I mean, you're probably going to discard the heavy ball here. So we're looking for a turn 1. This is Fusion Mew, and half their cards are upside down, it looks like. Getting that corrected. So they definitely want to try and get off a turn 1 attack here with the Meloetta into the Inteleon. That'll put them super far ahead. That might even just put them far enough ahead where the game is just over at that point, to be honest. Is Paldea Evolve the Worlds format? Yes. Back at it. Is the Meloetta in there? Melly and another Genesect. It was a heavy ball. Did they prize? Genesect was prized. Looks like nothing else super important in the prize cards. I mean, just average prize cards. Oh, this is like a different table too. This is around 12, but they're not on the mainstream table because they don't have the prize cam. They don't want to escape rope here. That's like a big thing here, actually, is they want to... Oh, there it is already, the switch card. They want to hit the switch card because they want to KO the active. If they play escape rope here, something like a Remoraid. Oh, and they already have the nuts. Oh, they drew a Genesect first, though. That actually is a little bit risky. What if they draw into too many fusion energy? They could have just forced Seal Stoned. Oh, there's the Elsa Sparkle, though. They put it on the Genesect. Might have been safer on the Oricorio. Genesect is still pretty safe, though. Check for the Echoing Horn. Well, they just checked their prize cards with Heavy Ball, though. They should know what all 6 of them are. And there we go. Genesect 4-1. Did they get a tablet yet? No, it's only 200 HP on the Inteleon, right, though? Yeah. Lost City. They also maybe should just put the Fusion Energy on the Mew, so that way the Mew could attack with double Fusion. Because there wasn't a Fusion Energy prized. So the Fusion Energy maybe should have just gone to the Mew there, to be honest. On Genesect for potential Spiritomb. Oh, that's true. I forgot about Spiritomb. Yeah. Drapion and Spiritomb is kind of crazy. That's pretty rude. Drapion swinging here. They have to go get a Karina's Focus off their artillery use, though. That's super slow. This matchup, this game seems like it's already over, to be honest. I think we got Mew winning game 1 here, like, for sure. There's no cooking on the loss or the Rapid Strike zone, on Rapid Strike side zone. Yeah, they even attached to the Drapion. Their hand is so bad to get an extra card off of Karina's Focus. They have Alakazam, no Inteleon, it looks like. Which I think you want to set up some kind of... You're not going to win this matchup with just Drapion. That's not going to be enough. You need something else. I think this might be a game 2 angle here. You could wait and see though. I would definitely go one more turn. Like I'm talking like this game is definitely over, but the Mew player could whiff. So you definitely want to go one more turn for sure, but I think we're going to be going to game 2 here pretty soon. 6 damage counters, goes to Alakazam. I don't know if it really matters, to be honest. Definitely don't want to put on the active, I guess, but it doesn't really matter because the choice belt's already on the Mew V here anyways. So maybe you do put the damage on the active, actually, to prevent like a late game Psychic Leap. Maybe off the prize cards, it looks like was one of the takes. Nothing to grab there. They actually, yeah, they have like, they're pretty close. Here we go. Oh, they're going Ultra Ball here. I thought they were going to be using the Crematic. Another Mew V makes sense, but I think they do have the Mew V Max in hand. They have an Elsa Sparkle. Why would they not Ultra Ball away the Elsa Sparkle? Oh, what the heck? They could have Ultra Balled away the Elsa Sparkle. What? Interesting. Is that like a rule in Japan? Wait, hang on. They could have like crammed twice here. This is definitely a misplay. Why not Ultra Ball away the Elsa Sparkle and then cram the VIP pass? And then keep the other cram around, or even cram the tablet immediately to have 2 cram uses. That's definitely better, right? Yeah, it's 100% better. I'm not wrong here, so I'm correct. I'd rather cram twice than play an Elsa Sparkle. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Also, you get the option to play another draw support if you're like a judge or something and then draw more cards. And now you take that away by playing the Elsa Sparkle. The Elsa Sparkle is definitely trolling here. There's a Sparkle. And they even put it on the Mew. What? Oh, they're gonna put it on the Genesect. Oh, we could attack with Genesect though. Wait, no, you don't need to attack with Genesect here. You can just attack with the Mew. They are gonna put it on the Genesect. The Genesect is an option here though. It is now an option with a double turbo. It doesn't really like increase your options by that much, but it is now an option, I guess. There's the double turbo, and I think this game is about cooked. Could even judge his turn as well and reduce the cards. And they still have their they still have their V-Star power as well. Wait, what the heck? Wait, do they? I guess they do. Yeah, I guess they were always cooking here. Maybe it was fine to do it the other way. Was that Force Seal Stone in play at the beginning of the turn? Or they just attached double Force? They're actually attacking with the Genesect. They're attacking with the Genesect. Is that better than attacking with Mew? It probably is, to be honest. I guess I'm fine with that, to be honest. I still like the draw. Well, I don't know how actually. Maybe the amount of cards they drew is fine then actually, because I didn't realize I had a Force Seal Stone in play already. So, yeah. Is it Korea where they never scoop? In the Pokemon TCG, they don't scoop really in Japan pretty much ever until someone actually wins a game. In best of 3 though, they do it differently. That's only in best of 1. But best of 1 does kind of make sense. And yeah, see, they're conceding now. Yeah, you appreciate 213 sub there. Azona. Yeah, now we're going to game 2. All right. Pile shuffling action, and let's get into it. Let's see if the rapid. Oh, another Drapion start. That is not good because if that gets KO'd by a Meloetta. Wait, what? It chose to go second. Okay, interesting. I don't hate. I'm really curious. I'm not sure if I like it or don't like it. It looks like they're debating. I actually don't hate the idea of not. There we go. They go for it anyways. Tails. They have 2 Genesects in hand, but just chose to pass to avoid the Drapion KO, which I think is that's probably correct. Oh, it's just 1 Genesect. I thought it was 2. Into tablet. I mean, if you bench a Genesect, they can't KO it, but they could like just they could like gust it. They could like boss or something. Their hand's not great, so they did attach, and they did immediately attach. I don't know why they immediately attached to their Drapion. I mean, it might be correct to attach there, but probably start with the Force Seal Stone. But it is probably correct to attach there because you do want to build it up as a threat and even into a single Mew. See what they actually grabbed here, though. I assume some kind of supporter or Battle VIP Pass, maybe. Might be, yeah, it's a research. Yeah, makes sense to attach then. 5, 6, 7. They get any basics. Looks like heavy ball. Hopefully something's prized here. I think the second Drapion is in the hand as well. There was an Urshifu prize. I don't know how much you want to bench Urshifu in this matchup though. I don't know if you ever build up like do you ever build up the Inteleon snipes enough on the bench that you actually attack with Urshifu to KO Genesects? I don't think so, right? Ooh, double heavy ball though, or S ball. we'll see Remrite plus. I mean, do you just. No, you don't really want to attack with Drapion into Meloetta, though. And you don't want to have the Drapion on the bench for it to be Gust KO'd either. So you probably don't bench Drapion here. It kind of sucks that they open the Drapion again, too, because you don't want Drapion on your active. Because if you bench Drapion here, and then the active one just gets Meloetta. Well, the active one's not getting Meloetta, though, right? It's going to get attacked by a Mew. Actually, you know what? I like benching Drapion here. I actually can't tell if that's for sure a Drapion on their hand either, so... But I actually like benching Drapion here. The more I've thought about it and kind of talked through this already, I like the Drapion bench here because you're not getting Meloetta here. It's just not happening. You're gonna get Mewed here. You want the quick response to the Mew. Yeah, they should have been. If that was a second Drapion, they should have benched it. I actually don't know if it was though. I don't like the Drapion idea. Then it means it's the optimal play, Akko. That's all the confirmation I needed was you saying you don't like the play. That's it. They should have definitely done it then. If they had known, you would have said that too. They would have been like, "Oh shoot, I should have actually made the play happen." Interesting hand here. I think I would just start with cram away the. I would cram the switch card. I think bench or Choreo cram switch card. Oh wait, no, you can just Ultra Ball the two. Yeah, no, this is way better. Yeah, Ultra Ball, get Mew, draw 4, go from there. Yeah, the Inteleon players kicking themselves right now reading that in chat. They're like, dude, I should have benched the Drapion. Akko said it was not the play. So see the knockout on this Drapion. Dude, opening the Drapion, that's so unfortunate for the Inteleon, the Rapid Strike player. Because you just want to be able to move them up into the Pokemon after they take their knockouts, but it does seem like Future Mew. Excuse me. It does seem like Future Mew is pretty tough, though, no matter what, to be honest. It seems like this is a pretty tough matchup for the Rapid Box. Whatever you call that deck. What do you call that deck? Rapid Box? Rapid Box? That sounds good. Okay, another 4 Seal Stone. They haven't used their V-Star power yet. They've been able to, like, hold on to their V-Star powers, like, a lot. They are Ultra Balling away the Mew V Max. Okay. So I thought they discarded another one, but they must have a third one here. Oh, wait, they have a Mew V on the bench. I thought that was a third Genesect. Bro, all this full art stuff is throwing me off, bro. I thought that Mew V on the bottom of everything was a Genesect. So I was like, why are we getting a 4 Genesect? Don't we want another Mew here? But then I'm not sure about discarding the other Mew V Max, to be honest. Maybe keeping that would have been better. I don't know. They are down a couple tablets here, so like 1-hit KO and an Inteleon V Max probably is not possible. I don't know if the matchup's so bad. Maybe you still just aggressively go for. You might still just aggressively play right here for the Drapion still. I just hope they don't have the Mew V Max follow up, and that would be 2 Mew V Max gone. So if the last one, well, they probably wouldn't have discarded the Mew V Max if their third one was prized. So that would be something as well. They are eyeing it. Yeah, they're going for it. So we're just gonna go Drapion here. But I feel like if the Mew V Max responds and KOs Drapion, the game just kind of ends. To be honest, I feel like the Mew player just wins. Like if they have Mew V Max KO Drapion, the game's over. We'll see though. Unless they have a way to recover a Drapion. Wait, why is that Drapion in the Lost Zone? Wait, did I miss something? Why is that Drapion in the Lost Zone? Did they think the Lost City was in play? Is there another reason it's in the Lost Zone? He played Lost City? Oh, they bumped the Lost City at the beginning of their turn. I just was not paying attention. I was like, bro, what? What is going on here? They bumped it at the beginning of their turn. Okay. I thought the tower has been in play this whole time, and I was just wait, hold up. Did they? Dude, I feel like they didn't play a Lost City. Oh, they did. Okay. Dude, I thought there wasn't a Lost City in play there. I was like convinced in my head. I'm like, I don't think I'm trolling. I think you guys are trolling. I had to go back and check. I'm not the troll here, but it turns out I was. You're right. Chat. For the first time, you're right. 999 to 1. Azul versus chat. There's the punch. Interesting to not put the damage on the artillery. Instead puts it on the Inteleon. That's actually super... Doesn't seem right. Okay, let's see if the Mew V Max can be found. And let's see, actually, if there's not a second Lost City here. Does the Rapid Strike player play like Clara or something, actually? Like Luminion into Clara, Super Rod into Nestball, or do they have a way to get a third Drapion? I feel like the Rapid Strike deck usually played a Clara last format, or like our current format. I don't know how they're doing it in Japan right now, but they maybe play a recovery card, and I don't know if they play another Lost City. Do they put everyone has flipped so far on the tail side, which is curious. They still have yet to use their V-Star power, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, cleansing gloves. There's the tablet. There's the sparkle. I don't think there's anything energy to grab though. Oh, there is one to the Oricorio. There's two to the Mew. Actually, could this have set up a weird play where the Mew player could have Psychic Leap KO'd this Inteleon? Because it only has 140 HP. Triple or Choice Belt double modifier Psychic Leap KO into KO Drapion. I think that play was maybe an option actually here. That maybe became an option because they put the 60 on the Inteleon. I don't know if it was a possibility for the Mew player or if they would even got close to getting it, but... Play one Clara or Super Rod for sure. Yeah, we'll see. It makes sense if Mew is as popular as it is and is as successful as it is to have like another out to another Drapion. Because if it's all fusion Mews, then you need to take 3 KOs and you could go Drapion. Of course, Lost Cities do become a potential issue, but I don't think anyone's really playing 2 Lost City Infusion Mews. I don't know. Maybe they are. I guess it would still just be... Oh, the winning list did play 2 Lost City, actually. I'll take it back. There's the V-Star. I think they just needed a... Ooh. I think they might have been short the mon. Oh, they want the path. Okay. So not second Lost City. They did play a tablet. Technoblast knockout. Down to 2. Yeah, let's see. Do they have? There's the artillery send up. I think they're kind of playing like they have it, to be honest. We'll see. There's the Clara. I saw a Clara. They're going for the stadium. Boom. Stadium into play. Here comes the Ultra Ball. Oh no, the Force Seal Stone or Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball with the Force Seal Stone. What if the Luminion's prized? Luminion, boom. Hey, we're going to game 3 here. There's the Clara. Recover a Drapion. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, maybe the mistake here on the Mew player side is instead of going for that Sparkle, they probably should have played for Roxanne, right? They probably shouldn't have played for that Sparkle that they did. They probably should have played for Roxanne. Maybe they didn't think the Drapion was a possibility, and they were like, okay, let's just try and guarantee this knockout. But they should have played for a bigger game plan there for sure. They definitely should have played for a bigger game plan. Now I'm curious. The Mew player gets to choose first or second. Do they choose to go first or second here? The Inteleon deck does not set up super well going first. I feel like a lot of times they can't find a ton of basics. Oh no, they have lone basic. Now if they go first, they do get to play items. Let's see what the Mew player chose. First or second. And the Mew player did choose to go first. Okay. That's what I thought was maybe going to happen here. Like, I don't know. Like it's weird though. Only one of these things can be correct. So it's always weird when you see this interaction happen. In the last game, the Inteleon player chose to go second. They lost game 1. The Rapid Strike player chose to go second. But in this game, the Mew player lost, and going into game 3, the Mew player chose to go first. But only one of those things is correct. Like, it's either correct to go... Wait. Yeah, it's either correct to go second on the fusion side of things, or it's correct to go second on the Rapid Strike side of things. Like, they both can't be correct. Right? No. Because either you're at the fusion player, you're giving the Rapid Strike player what they want, or it's the Rapid Strike player, you give the fusion player what they wanted. Or the Mew player, I should say. Fusion Mew player, whatever, doesn't matter. Because it could depend on the fusion Mew. But not both things can't be correct. Which means someone messed up here. I don't know which person did because I haven't really played the matchup. But one of them is misplaying, for sure. One of them made a mistake in choosing to go what they chose to go. I think me going second has merit, but it's not guaranteed he hits, so maybe Yeah, so maybe he doesn't think it's worth it. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying one of them is making a mistake. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I don't know which one's correct. I mean, I know there's reasons you can put behind going first or second, but only one of them is correct. Because they both chose the opposite of what the other person chose when they both had the option to choose. So one of them messed up. I don't know which one did. I didn't fully think that through, but I think I thunk that through enough, and I'm correct. Is that one of them messed up? I don't know which one though. They do ask if they want it to be tails up, or maybe they're just confirming that it is the tail side up. So do you have to flip with tail side up? I don't know. Maybe you do have to flip with the tail side up. I wonder if we're gonna see a retreat to Meloetta here or not. Yeah, you can definitely put reasons behind. Like you could do like a pros and cons list, right? Like if you but the thing is, like when you do a pros and cons list, if you could come up with pros for going first, you can come up with pros for going second, but then you have to add the cons in, and then based off, the full list of pros and cons, it should be correct for you to go first or go second, right? So it should be correct for the Mew player to go first or go second, and then because it's correct for the Mew player to go first or go second, the Rapid Strike player is correct in this matchup for it's correct. One thing gives each player a higher win percent chance, right, of going first or going second. So the Rapid Strike player choosing to go second in game 2, but then the Fusion player choosing to go first in game 3 means one of them made a mistake. I don't know which one it is though, but there is potential pros for going first and second in for both decks. There is potential pros and cons for going first or second in the matchup, but one of them outweighs the other. On the coin flip, I think they ask if the opponent... No, they have to flip coins in Japan. They don't roll dice in Japan at all, Toady. So they're always flipping coins. They're never rolling dice. They don't roll dice in Japan. They only flip coins, so... Would you make the decision if it's correct by assuming you get your optimal board? I don't know if that makes sense or not. Well, it just depends on what you get on average, SNR. It's like, on average, what happens in this matchup, right? Like it's not even on average. It's like what you think gives you a higher win percent chance. Like, because like you could make an argument that like the matchup's really bad, so if you don't like pop off turn 1 going second to get like a turn 1 knockout and them having a slow first turn, you always lose anyways. So but that's why it would just be correct to go second. You'd always go second based on that. It wouldn't just be like a spur of the moment thing where it's all of a sudden correct to go second. It's just always correct to go second, right? Because you could make the argument in this matchup for Fusion Mew to win this matchup, and I'm not saying this is true, but just as an example, if you go first and your opponent gets to play like a research, they just set up and you always lose. So because of that, you want to let them go first to have less potential draw power and setup outs, and then you get to turn 1 Meloetta and just kind of race ahead of them, and hopefully that keeps you ahead for the whole game. That's like the way you feel like you win the game most often, but it wouldn't be like a spur of the moment type thing where all of a sudden it's correct. It just is always correct. Just because your opponent wants to go second doesn't make it incorrect for you to go first. That's not what I'm saying at all, Bladder. You're just completely missing the point. It has nothing to do with the players' opinions. It is just either correct in the matchup to choose to go first or to choose to go second when you have the option. And because of how the players choose to go first and second into game 2 and into game 3, one of them made a mistake. It has nothing to do with your opponent choosing something, meaning you then have to copy what they chose. It has nothing to do with that at all. It just is statistically correct in a given matchup to choose to go first or second. But they both chose the same choice of making the Mew player go first, which doesn't make any sense. That means one of them messed up. So statistically, there's just a correct choice, but that means one of them messed up because the Rapid Strike player made the Mew player go first, but then the Mew player chose to go first going into game 3. So it's not for sure that it's the Rapid Strike player's fault just because the Mew player did it afterwards. It's just one of them messed up, but I don't know which one messed up. Playstyle is a myth. There is always a correct choice. Yeah, playstyle is not actually a thing. The only thing in Pokemon that you can like refer to as like playstyle is like deck choices. Like if someone always likes playing aggressive decks or control decks or defensive decks, but like in game when you're making decisions, there's no such thing as choices. You either made a misplay or you made the correct play. So I guess there is a choice, but there's not like choices, right? There's not two plays of equal outcome. It's either the correct play or a misplay. So there is like technically like the choices are like fake. Like in Pokemon, the choices you make throughout the game are like not real. You're not actually making a choice. You're either making a misplay or you're making the correct play. Same thing with choosing to go first or second in this scenario in the opening coin flip. There's not like equal there's not like equal tree tiers or equal tree paths you can go down that equal the same thing. It's either correct or incorrect. All right, back into it. Do you attack turn 1 with Drapion if you can here? I don't hate it, because you have to get through this Meloetta probably anyways at some point. I think you maybe should just start swinging with Drapion and try and go Drapion, and at some point you'll have to bump their Lost City. I don't know, that makes sense. I think we're just swinging with Drapion here. We'll see what they choose to do though. I'm curious to see how they play it. That to Sander. Sander believes what I said. I've literally was on a podcast at one point where Sander agreed with me. Like, Sander agrees there's one optimal line of play in any given scenario. Has his own playstyle? No, he just chooses to play control decks. He doesn't have a playstyle. Sander agrees with my. It's not even my theory of the game. It's just a fact. What I'm saying is like not controversial as well. By the way, me saying that there's not playstyles in the game is like. And like I said, as far as like play style goes in Pokemon, it's just like deck choice, but it's not like how you play games of Pokemon out. You can either misplay or make the correct play. It's also not a controversial thing. This is just a fact. The only thing that's like play style based in Pokemon is like deck choices. Like you like playing aggressive decks or control decks or defensive decks and so on and so forth. Rant activated. I mean, when people say silly stuff in chat, I gotta correct them. So we haven't seen a Drapion yet. Mid-range decks, I love me some good mid-range decks. Yo, Tempozard? Dude, people are so triggered about Tempozard. It was so cringe. The pass? No, this can't be correct, right? Because now you just lose the 2-prize trade. Now it just goes Meloetta knockout. So now you just see, there's a Drapion in the hand as well, I think. So now what we're gonna see is Meloetta KO, potentially, into Mew KO, I would call it a preference and not a playstyle. Yeah, it's just like deck preference. Yeah, because playstyle implies, because it's not how you're playing the deck doesn't change. Because there's also like an optimal 60 cards for any given archetype to potentially play, or close to it, I guess. Yeah, it's more like, yeah, it's just like deck preference. Like that's the only thing that really exists. That's a better way to put it. There's no such thing as play style in Pokemon, because there's not any like physical interaction that actually happens. Like I think there's like play styles and stuff like poker, but that's because there's like a physical interaction with like betting and having to like play your opponent based on, well, there's not just like there's a statistical correct outcome of like any given like hand of cards in poker, but you don't have to play to that statistical correct outcome with how you bet, right? But in Pokemon, you always play to the statistical correct outcome. So I would say I think playstyle implies that there are multiple ways to play the same deck correctly. Yeah, I kind of agree. So it's just like there's no playstyle in Pokemon or card games in general for the most part. Can maybe make an argument for playstyle in Magic, but I don't think that really exists either, because there's a little bit more. I think there's like a little bit higher. I think the bluffing at high level Magic can be completely removed from the game, and there still is like a statistical breakdown of what's in their hand, and that's what you kind of play off of most of the time, if not all the time. It's like pretty similar in Pokemon too. There is still like a statistical breakdown of what could possibly be in their hand, and then you still want to like pick up on when your opponent gives hints of what could be in their hand, but yeah, like in poker, I think there's playstyle. Obviously, like in sports, there's playstyle and stuff like that. But that's because there's like a physical exchange of, what do you even call it? Like a physical exchange of energy or just like contact or like something. It's the same thing in poker. There's something more physical to the game than Pokemon. There's like nothing physical happening in Pokemon that would ever allow something like playstyle to exist. There's just deck preference that exists in Pokemon. That's it. But even that's like not really a thing. Even that's not really a thing. Psychological, yeah, there's a psychological, there's no, that's a good way to put it, psychological, because like if you like in basketball, right, like if you're freaking, you know, they have to decide what you think that if you're you know, if you're like in playing basketball or something, and you could shoot a three, you could push for the rim or whatever, go to the rim, like your opponent has to decide what you think you're gonna do, and you can like fake and like freaking pump fake or whatever you want to call it, and then like, you know, you can make plays based off that, and your defender, the person who's defending your opposition, has to respond to what you do and think what are they actually going to do when they make that play or something, right? So that's like I would say Magic has playstyle like aggro control, mid-range combos. No, those are just different kinds of decks. That's not playstyle. That's just deck preference. Yeah. That's a better way to put it. It's just deck preference at the end of the day. So like, but there's nothing like that. It's all psychological, right? You have to psychologically guess what you think your opponent's gonna do, and there's some physical interaction as well. But push for the rim. Yeah. What is the actual freaking? What's the actual term you would call that? Go for a layup. Push to the rim. What about choosing to do less optimal play if it is more likely to cause the opponent to misplay? That's like a weird scenario where it's like against lesser players that could be considered the optimal play at that point. But I'd have to like see a scenario play out in front of me and then like drive, yeah, drive to the rim. I would have to like actually like walk through a play to have an opinion, like to think through that day camp. People do have playstyles, and it's possible to punish players based on their playstyle in both Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not sure about Pokemon though. I mean, you can't in Pokemon. I don't think it exists at high level Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh either. I'd like have to like experience those games at a higher level, but I think like if there was like a tier, like a breakdown of it, it'd be like Pokemon. There's no potential to outplay based on playstyle. There's no playstyle in Pokemon. There might be a little bit of playstyle in Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't think it truly exists there either. But I have to like talk to. I'd have to drive to the bucket. Did I say drive to the bucket? Drive to the basket? Drive to the basket? I'd have to like talk to like high level Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh players to see what they think. And then there would be this would be like Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, then poker after that, because there definitely is a playstyle in poker. There definitely is playstyle in Magic. Well, what is the playstyle in Magic? What is it? What does playstyle do for, like, what do you mean by that? How is everything not just like statistically correct or incorrect in Magic? Is control an archetype or a playstyle? It's not an archetype. An archetype would be like a specific kind of deck, but generally there's only one control deck in the format, I guess. Playstyles play good decks. That's what I'm saying. But again, I guess we like define that as preference now. There are some turns where you can make an argument for multiple lines. Yeah, but you can make an argument for multiple lines in Pokemon as well. But there is a statistically correct line pretty much every single time. Like you could always argue for multiple lines in Pokemon too, just like you can in Magic. But if you go down the path far enough of where the lines lead, one of them will be statistically correct. It's the same thing. Pro Magic players will tell you that playstyle, as we have defined it here, does not exist, but deck preference does exist, like the white weenie deck guy, etc. Okay, so Pro Magic players will tell you that playstyle, as we have defined it here, does not exist. So are you saying playstyle doesn't exist in Magic, Azana? I think that's what I got from your message, but I just wanted to make sure. There isn't a statistically correct line because they can interact with you on your turn. It doesn't matter. Like what they can interact with you on your turn, Seasoil. There's just you can calculate what they possibly have access to on their turn, and based on what they possibly have access to on their turn is what you need to play around. Just because there's something that they can do on your turn doesn't mean that there's play style. Like statistically, the chance that they have this card in their hand means I should play around it, or because they shouldn't have it in their, they probably don't have it in their hand, I shouldn't play around it. Or if just because they probably do have this in their hand, if I play around it turn after turn after turn, I actually just slowly bleed out and lose. So at that point, I just shouldn't play around it and should just hope they don't have it in their hand. So once again, that removes the idea of play style, and then once again, it's just either you misplay or you make them optimal play. Even chess players have play style. Play style in chess theoretically doesn't exist. Well, just because chess can exist. Play style can maybe theoretically exist in chess, because chess is so complex that there's like so much room for statistical error that like playstyle could exist. But just because there's playstyle in chess doesn't mean there's playstyle in Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. Like, yeah. Oh, now we know it's all about heart of the cards. Yeah, like theoretically, but chess is such a complex game that you could make an argument that there probably is playstyle in chess, which is like fine. But chess theoretically is like a solved game. There's like an optimal way to play the game, right? It's just, yeah, it's impossible for humans to do it. So it's such a complex game that it's like you're allowed to have playstyle. But at that point, it actually just becomes you styling on people because you're making suboptimal plays to make fancier plays or plays you just like enjoy making, right? We're not fucking robots and there's nuance to play, i.e. playstyles. No, but it doesn't exist in Pokemon. Pokemon's not that complicated of a game. Neither is Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh. None of those games are complicated enough. That's what I'm saying. Chess gets to the point where it is complicated enough where you can make that argument. But Pokemon and Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh are not complicated enough where that nuance exists. That nuance does not exist in Pokemon. Because even if you don't see something in the moment as being the optimal play, after the fact, you could definitely look at that and go back on that. All the top players in Pokemon will also tell you this. There's no top player in Pokemon that thinks playstyle exists. I'm sure it exists. It's the same thing for Magic. It's the same thing for Yu-Gi-Oh. You won't be able to find a majority of top players in any of those games who will tell you playstyle exists. They'll all be like, no, it does not exist. That's not a thing, Bladder. You just think it had plain style. Pokemon's brain dead. See, now you're just like, so you're just a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Yu-Gi-Oh definitely had playstyle, at least when I played. No, you were probably just bad at Yu-Gi-Oh and thought playstyle exists. There's a lot of bad Pokemon players who think playstyles exist, and then your follow-up message is Pokemon is brain dead. No, Pokemon's not brain dead. You're bad at Pokemon, you were bad at Yu-Gi-Oh, and you just thought there was playstyle in Yu-Gi-Oh. Playstyle does not exist. It's like deck choices with openings you prefer to play. Yeah, exactly. What, like, if you could compare that. You could compare that to... You don't know who I am? I don't, but that's just such a bad... If you're going to follow up... If you're going to follow... We're having a discussion. If you're going to follow up your discussion with Pokemon is brain dead... Like, if you're going to follow up your response with Pokemon is brain dead, I'm going to fire back, bro. Your statement just sounds like someone who doesn't know, because so many people, I've heard so many people make these kind of statements in Pokemon as well, just because they don't know any better, where they make the statement playstyle exists in Pokemon. It just doesn't. Now, the statement itself is fine to make, and the response to that is you don't know any better and playstyle doesn't exist. But then your follow-up message is Pokemon is brain dead, which tells me you're not that good at Pokemon because you think Pokemon is brain dead, which is then going to make my next assumption is that you're not that good at Yu-Gi-Oh. So then your initial response of Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely had playstyles, at least when I played, is that you probably weren't that good at Yu-Gi-Oh when you played Yu-Gi-Oh. You just said that Pokemon isn't that complicated to have that kind of nuance. I don't think Pokemon... I think the only game you could make an argument out of the ones we've been arguing for is like, I think, like I said, there's playstyle in poker. But I don't... you could make an argument for that in chess because of how complicated... But Yu-Gi-Oh is not that complicated of a game. Just because I don't think Pokemon has the nuance to be a game where with playstyle doesn't mean I think Yu-Gi-Oh is. Appreciate the prime sub there. Taking... I don't want to say the last part of your name. If you're gonna follow up your statement with that, then I'm gonna fire back. I don't even think there's playstyle in poker. There are tendencies in bad decision, in the bad decisions people make. If you know someone's strategy, there's an optimal counter strategy. Yeah, but that gets so complex, Kryptonite, that I think that is what adds playstyle, right? Like theoretically, you could even apply that to basketball, right? But at a certain point, it becomes too... When something becomes too complicated to analyze in the moment, or to even look back on and fully analyze it, that's when playstyle exists. When something is too complicated to like look at in the moment consistently and like analyze it yourself, like in the moment and just do the numbers, then at that point, what's wrong with my name? Well, I read the first part, but I don't know how to fully pronounce your name. And the last part of it, I'm not going to pronounce the last part of it because I don't know how to fully pronounce your name. If you want to tell me how to pronounce your name, I'll consider saying it, but I appreciate the prime sub. We're out of water, but we got plenty of rugs. Alex. Well, not your name, but how to pronounce... Oh, wait. Taking an Alex. Okay. Did I get it? Okay, well, when I read it, I did not read it as taking an Alex, but I'm not going to say what I read. That's what I read. Complexity and depth are two different things. Complexity is an additional rules and things to keep track of. Depth is how much can be mastered with the complexity there is. I mean, that sounds correct. I'm not gonna, but yeah. There's some certain things that that sports that some athletes are physically incapable of doing. There isn't any such thing in card games. Yeah, of course. And of course, like, that's why you play people differently. Like, I keep referring to basketball because that's like the only sport I've been watching recently. But like basketball, sometimes you leave people wide open for a 3-point, right? Because you know that the chance that they make it is super, super low, right? It's just Azul's playstyle for reading names. Yeah, when you can't calculate like everything in the moment. That's when playstyle exists. That's when playstyles exist. When it's just too complicated to factor in everything in a certain amount of time. But I do not think that Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Hearthstone, any of that stuff falls under that playstyle category. Like, everything can be, once you're good enough at any of the games, everything can be calculated to like optimal play. Optimal versus misplay. I think, like, yeah, when you get to what's it called, it gets there. This isn't COD. Yeah, exactly, like video games. Like when there's some like physical, potential psychological exchange. Yo, appreciate the 33 months there. Jake Earhart, the Avenger. Heart on Twitter, I'm an Avenger. Appreciate it as always, bud. All right, let's keep watching. I like having these discussions. I don't mind getting a little bit heated myself. So I guess the game, but that's not even the, okay, so I think the game plan here for the Inteleon player is get this knockout on Meloetta with Inteleon, and then the response has to be with, actually, what if the Mew player had attacked with Mew VMAX here, and then the Drapion responds, and then you attack with Meloetta? If they were able to do that, that sounds better, right? And then you attack with Meloetta, KO Drapion, go down to 2, and then they go Inteleon, and then you go Echoing Horn, win, right? That sounds like a better line, actually, to be honest. If that was possible for them. I don't know if they could have done that, but they maybe could have just hard retreated the Meloetta. See, now they're putting down the Drapion anyways. See, now, so like, what is going on here? Why didn't they just attack with Drapion turn 1? Now they just completely lose the trade. The trade is just out of their hands completely now. They definitely need to play this differently. I don't know if that, but the Mew player could have also, like, I think just attacking with Drapion turn 1 was the play. It's a little bit awkward though. It is awkward. But then you could actually win the game as the Inteleon player, because you could get enough snipes on the Genesect. So you go Drapion, KO, Meloetta. They go Lost City, Respawn, Knockout. You go Drapion, KO, Mew, VMAX, Boss, KO, Genesect with an Inteleon. They definitely needed to be aggressive with the Drapion, though, I think. And then the Mew player this turn, I think, could have full punished by attacking with Mew VMAX. I think if the Mew player had attacked with Mew VMAX here, they always just win the game. I think the game just literally ends if they attack with Mew VMAX on this turn instead of the Meloetta. Even maybe at the expense of hard retreating one of these fusion energies off Meloetta, because their last, oh, okay. They almost put it on the one with the fusion energy. Would have done 20, not done 20. And yeah, you could put Alakazam in play here and start to build it up all on one Genesect. So here comes the Inteleon knockout, but then you just have a Drapion hanging out on your bench. 2 Drapion on Clara as well. Doesn't even need Inteleon. Well, it's only if you attack with Drapion first, though, because now at this point they go Boss KO Drapion, and then the trade is just out of their hands, right? So that's like the problem here. That's interesting. See, this is like actually really interesting to me. Like, are they allowed in Japan? Can they literally just like take back the last action they made? Because like at TPCI events, you can't do this. And I don't think it's like a terrible thing that they can do this in Japan, but they sent up the Mew, they took their hand off it. If their opponent's fine with it, that's one thing. But I think they asked the judge. Whenever these situations come up, where they do something where the Japanese players do something and then they take it back. It's never like they're asking their opponent. They always look over towards the judges and ask and like say something and then take something back. They didn't draw, so I guess it is like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's different. It's just like a difference between TPCI and events in Japan. Like, you wouldn't be able to take that back in like at Fresno this weekend. Like, you should at least have to ask your opponent. Yeah, I agree. I think you should have to ask your opponent. Actually, they should evolve the act. Oh, they have one for the bench as well. Wait, they would have the third one in there then. They probably do. Yeah, I think you should have to ask your opponent. Asking the judge is like, okay, I guess. Did we go down to... No, we're at 1.5 still. It felt a little bit slow. Yeah, asking your opponent's like, okay, but I feel like you should have to ask the judge here. I don't know. Or you should have to ask your opponent, not ask the judge. I feel like you should have to ask the opponent, not the judge. Yeah, I don't know. But they take a lot of things back that you wouldn't be able to do. At Fresno, you can't though, because metal detect true. Metal detectors only go one way. Interesting, they didn't play anything aggressively there. They do want a boss KO Drapion here. I guess if they want to KO the active, that wouldn't be bad here, to be honest. They do have the V-Star power cell though, so they have this almost guaranteed. Does attacking with Genesect ever do anything? No. But yeah, like I was saying, if they'd attacked with Mew last turn instead of Eloetta, I think they just win the game, like on board. They would have been that much better. It would have been a little bit better for sure. It definitely would have been better. What about metal detectors? They have a playstyle. Some detect buttons. Some only do jewelry or bigger. Yeah, there's playstyles for everything. Deck, not deck choice. Deck preference. They got the boss. That's it. I mean, the Inteleon player can't get a KO on this next turn. I mean, they could attack with their other Drapion, but that does not seem like a winning play. So I think this is going to be a dub. Or yeah, this is going to be a dub for the Mew. This is a Mew dub here. Big Mew dubby. I'll pad back in the boss. I think we saw Echoing Horn in one of the other games, so they have the horn potential. For the Inteleon in the discard pile. Now that could get clawed into the hand, I guess. This Drapion is going to the Lost Zone. But you still can't, like, attacking with Drapion here just can't happen. So we almost like, we need him to like not find the horn, and then we need to like see the boss punch on the Genesect. So I feel like what needs to happen here is boss punch Genesect. First ping them with the Inteleon. Banshee Alakazam, move the damage over. Boss punch the Genesect. They have the Drapion in the hand, so they could do that. But if they just Drapion here, I don't see how they ever win. They still have their V-Star power on the Mew side. Okay, here we go. We have to find that boss as well. I don't think they have it in hand. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to go Iono plus. Looks like Iono plus Drapion is the play here. Like I said, I don't think that's winning them any games, or winning them this game. I wish the Western tournaments had the energy and supporter tracker on stream. That would be nice. It would be nice. At least the supporter one. Energy one, I'm a little bit less. But I think it would be nice. I think it would be nice. If they just had someone in the back monitoring that. Oh, so they're just going punch on me. They had the Drapion in hand, right? Why bench the Drapion though if he has a second one? Because you need both to win the game, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think you're winning the game with only one Drapion. You're not gonna do enough damage to ever win the game. Because then the Mew player just wins the trade by like going punch for punch, for like blow for blow from there, I think. But just punching Mew here, I don't think ever wins the game. I don't know what the game plan is here. Could you win next turn with Urshifu? But if you bench Urshifu, once again, you may as well attack with Drapion on the active. I guess they have to gust it. They get Inteleon. Once again, if they bench this though, they just basically need a Gust. Gust and a switch card, Gust and an energy. They're in a pretty good spot. Dude, how does this ever lead to a win? I guess they do play Charon's Care. But like you would need to hit, well, I mean, you could hope they whiff energy here, I guess. You could hope they whiff energy here, I guess. But then you may as well just attack with Drapion and hope they whiff energy, right? Oh my, yeah, they already got it. There's the horn, there's the boss, and then the Mew dub. Yeah, it was just a tough one. Once again, I'm kind of curious about the going first versus going second thing, and then yeah, the Inteleon players need to be more aggressive. They just need to be more aggressive. They should just went with Drapion off the rip there. I hope the Mew player only has one Lost City. So you go Drapion, they Lost City, and then you go up to Lost City, attack with Drapion again, into Clara, attack with Drapion again. I think that was definitely the play here. If you just don't attack on that first turn, then you're just always behind in the prize trade if you get put 2 prizes off the rip, and they did. So you have like no way to make a comeback. So you just need to be aggressive on that first turn, which they could have done. They had the option to be aggressive on that first turn and just like chose not to. I don't know why they chose not to. They definitely should have been.